Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever and whenever you are. My name is Benjamin, and this is a game development log. I decided yesterday that I wanted to build or enter into the Game Boy Jam on Game Jolt. So I've been working on that. There's some restrictions in it. You can only use 4 colors. And so this is the palette that I came up with. I wanted to actually record myself doing the entire thing, but that didn't work out. I tried that, and I spent like 40 minutes working on sprites that I ended up hating, and so that would have been a really boring video for you guys. So I'm just going to show you guys what I have so far. So I've got some different sprites here, a little raccoon character and a gem thing that he collects throughout the levels. I've set up a tile set, which is different from what I've done before in the past. So you can see I've got this tile set that I've created. This is 64 by 64, and the tiles are 16 by 16. You can see that it's broken this whole sheet up into 16 by 16 little cubes. So I'm able to place these tiles in the room like that. So I've got a solid object, a spike, a gem, and a player. The player basically follows a similar code to my perfect platformer tutorial, except that I'm controlling the sprites down here. And yeah, and it has it has the wall jump in it as well. So let me show you kind of what's going on. And I've actually got a glitch in the game, and I want to show it to you because I'm going to use the debugger and show you how I would debug this glitch to figure out what's going on. Because GameMaker has a new debugger, and honestly, it is really, really good. It's not like a professional debugger for like FL Studio, or not FL Studio. Wow, that word just completely slipped my mind. I can't think of the name of it's Microsoft's development tool, whatever. They've got a really nice debugger. So here you can see I can run around in the game and collect this gem, which sends me to the next level. Now look at the location of my player's feet. They're right smack on that line, and it looks super good, you know. There's a nice pixel where he's bending that leg, and it's just perfect. But when I jump up here, I'm actually kind of floating in the air a little bit up here. And it just looks bad, and I was trying to figure out what was going on. So let me show you what I did to figure it out, because I've already figured it out. So I came into here, and I went into my player, and so the first thing I did is I came into the step event, and I said, well, this code right here, this code is where the player collides with the ground. And this is the code right here that happens if he's moving fast enough, and if the ground, if he were to actually go inside the ground, see? If he moves down, and if he were to move down, would he be inside of the ground? Yes. If that's the case, then we need to step down 1 pixel at a time. This just steps 1 pixel at a time until he touches the ground, and then we set his horizontal speed to 0. So I'm going to actually show you that using the debugger. So let's run this in debug mode. Now, you have to actually activate the new debugger, or GameMaker will continue to use the old debugger, which isn't quite as nice. Excuse me. It isn't quite as nice. And if you were to pull it up right now, it will look completely different from my debugger. So I'll maybe try and show you how to do that. I don't exactly remember how to do it, honestly, but let's see. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to move the game over here, minimize the debugger a bit because I don't need that much of it. And okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is come down into objects, and let me close these. Okay, so I can't close both of them. So I'm going to come over here, and you can see I've got a resource tree. And I'm going to click on objects, and I'm going to click on the player object, right? And it's going to have the events. And I'm going to click on the step event and open it up. And that's going to open up my code. Now, down in my code, I'm going to find the vertical movement, which is right here, vertical collisions. And I'm going to put what's called a breakpoint, which I'll double click right here, on this line of code, because this is where that player actually moves. So let's come back into our game and actually start playing. I'm going to run over here, grab that. Now if I jump, nothing happens because he's landing right. But if I jump up onto this step right here, and then jump back down, boom, I hit my break point, right? So it pauses the game and then highlights this yellow right here. And if I come over here, these are variables, and I can look at self. So self is my variables, and you can see gravity is 0.6, speed. These are variables I created in the create event. If I come into the built-in variables right here, you can see my player has an X and a Y position. Now you'll notice something about the Y position. Look at it. The Y position is not an exact number like my X position. Now, why is that? Well, the reason is because of my gravity. The gravity is 0.6, so I'm adding 0.6 to the Y position. And guess what? That's not going to add up to an exact number. So that's part of the reason my Y position is not an exact number. Now I'm going to show you the other cool thing. So there's this event right here, which is called, or this button right here, which is called step over. And this is literally going to step through the code just like the computer would, one line at a time, so we can see what's going on. You'll actually watch my Y variable here increment like it's supposed to. Y plus equals the sign of the V speed, which will just be 1. So it's going to increment by 1 point every single time I click this step over button. So it's 108, 109, 110, 111, 112. You can see it stepping through, and then it jumps out. And I'm gonna now I'm gonna hit the play button because it's jumped out of this code. It's gonna actually draw the player at this Y position now. Okay, but that Y position is actually down a little bit into the ground here. It's a little bit off. It's not exactly snapped, and we saw that because it had those. It had 112 and then a dot and then all these numbers afterwards. So what we want to do is we want to round the Y position. So let's close out of our game here and come into the player. And the first thing that I tried when I saw that was I came into here, and right here before the vertical collisions, I added a new line of code that said round the Y, round the vertical, the Y position. And all I did was Y equals round Y. So I'm just rounding the Y position, okay? Now let's go back in the game and test my theory. Test to see if this works. If that will fix the little glitch where he sometimes floats or sometimes goes inside the block a little bit, because he shouldn't do those. If my compiler will run, it takes a while usually when I'm recording. It's quite a bit faster when I'm not recording. Or maybe it just seems faster when I'm not recording. Let's run over here, grab this, jump up here, boom. And you can see it works. But he like goes down into it and then kind of moves a little bit, sinks down, which is pretty good. In fact, probably in this video, the frame rate's not going to be good enough for you guys to even be able to see it. But basically, you can see him move to the position and then it rounds it afterwards. Why is that? Well, it's because the step event right here runs before or runs after. Well, let's see. It runs before the draw event. Well, the draw event must run first. I don't remember exactly. But my idea was, well, the logic behind my solution was, if you put something to follow the mouse in the step event, it kind of lags behind. But if you put it in the end step event, it snaps exactly with the mouse's position. And there's a reason for that, and it's because of the order that the events run. And so the draw event needs to run after the event's already been done. So I know that the end step event is the right place for this. If I can even remember where I put it. Okay, so I'm going to grab this where I round the Y position. And I'm going to make an end step event. And put it in here. And we'll round the Y position just like before. Run the game. And wait for my extremely long compiler. And you won't even be able to see the difference that this made, but I can see it. It snaps right to the ground. He lands right perfectly on the ground where he should, and it fixes that little glitch. So this debugger is just awesome. I'm super impressed with it. Let's see if we can figure out how to turn it off and on. So I'm going to come into File, go into Preferences, and let's see. Show, close. I don't remember. So this right here is where you can set it to the big resource tree icons. Windows, server editors, source and code. Aha, come into, so you go into preferences, source and code, and then right here there's a checkbox that says use the new debugger. And it is amazing. It will help you if you run into errors in your game, and you should be able to step through it using a breakpoint and step through your code to watch the variables, see exactly what's going on while you're running the game. And it's been like, I wouldn't have been able to solve this problem if I hadn't had that debugger, because I wouldn't have had that information, and that information led me to certain conclusions, and I was able to fix it. So anyways, this is my game for the Game Boy Jam. I will continue to give you guys updates as I work on it over the next week. I'm also working really hard to write the book that I promised you guys, and I'm doing my research. I've been doing quite a bit of research to make sure that I'm writing exactly what you guys need to hear, so I don't lead you astray. And I'm really excited for it. I actually really enjoy writing quite a bit. So I write every day during my lunch break at work, and I get probably about 1,500 words a day. So I'm guessing probably in about a month I'll have the book finished, and then I'll be able to publish it. And I'm just really excited about it. I like to write, and so this is like Game Maker plus writing. So anyways, enough of me talking about that. I'm curious if you guys if you've entered into this Game Boy Jam. If you haven't, you can go to my Facebook page. That's in the description. There's a link on my Facebook page that will link you to this game jam, and you can enter into it. If you have, send me some of your stuff. I'd like to, if you guys finish a game, I'd like to feature your game on my channel. If it was entered into the Game Boy Jam, and show it off. I'll play it and do a quick video. I want to do more of that for you guys. So thank you guys so much. Like, favorite this video if it helps you. I really appreciate all of the help that you guys give me, and I will talk to you guys later.